Greetings. Hope this day finds you safe, healthy, and happy. Hope you're thriving at whatever you're doing, wherever you're doing it, that you're just enjoying your life and doing the best you can with whatever situation you find yourself in. As I say every morning in my little affirmations before I get out of bed, in every situation and circumstance that I encounter today, I present the very best version of me that I have available in that moment. I hope that's the way you get to live your life. I hope it's the way I get to live my life. I affirm it every morning. Do I live it every day? Maybe. I'm Ken Ludwig. You are watching the New Thought Media Network and Vibrant Living. That is this show. And we start every show with a reading from Dr. Ernest Holmes from his amazing little book, This Thing Called You. One day I will learn that the camera's right there. If I just hold it right in front of me, I'm good. Let's see here. We just open the book and we don't have a quote. That's interesting. There's not a lot of pages like that. So we'll just turn one page. No quote. 2 pages, still no quote. I'm not sure this has ever happened to me in all the years that I did my radio show and all the years I've been doing this podcast. So we go to the next chapter even. And I have some stuff highlighted here. So let's just read what I highlighted as opposed to a quote from an actual quote of Ernest. I'm going to read 2 here for you. This is from chapter 4 of This Thing Called You, and it goes like this. Someday, when you sit down by the roadside, weary with struggle, you will listen deeply and you will hear a voice saying, "This is the path, follow it." Even then I shall wait for you. Even then I shall wait. For you are you, and you cannot return to your Father's house other than as a complete and perfect individualization of myself. Always I shall be waiting. I shall not reproach you when you return. You will be welcome. The time of your return is in your own decision. It may be now or any time in that vast forever which stretches before you. Wow, that's great. That's a pretty astonishing quote, and I'm surprised it wasn't just one of the little quotes that Ernest gives, because the whole thing is in quotation marks. So anyway, but I love the idea that we are never alone. We are never without God. We are never without Spirit. Spirit is in, around, through, and as us. And the search for God, if you're on that search, is immaterial. There's no search. There is just the acceptance. And that divine spark within, that overarching creative intelligence that animates every single cell of your body, every space between the cells of your body, and every single atom that makes up the cells of your body, that overarching creative intelligence is not going to reproach you. It's not going to say, "Where you been?" It's not going to say, "I've been waiting." It's just going to simply accept that you now are aware of the fact that you are that individualization of the divine from within. And I have to apologize. It's the first week of pollen season. Excuse me. Knew that was coming. It's the first week of pollen season, and since I moved to North Carolina, the hay fever thing is interesting. Last spring was maybe the worst hay fever spring I've ever experienced in my life. I'm hoping this spring won't be as bad. We didn't have as much rain this winter, so perhaps it'll be better. I apologize for the sniffling here. Anyway, so yeah, that's that quote. Someday when you sit by the roadside, weary with struggle, you will listen deeply and you will hear a voice saying, "This is the path, follow it." That divine spark, that intuitive sense, that is that spirit that animates my being speaking to me. You may have heard, you may not have heard that, but forever I have known that I meditate because the voice of God is in the silence. That's where I get to be with that overarching creative intelligence that is me, and talk to it and get, part of my affirmations in the morning is also about the idea that I turn over everything, all my challenges, issues, questions, problems. I turn that over to that overarching creative intelligence that is in as and through me. And I listen for the answers and the solutions, because everything I need to know is going to be revealed to me. I'm absolutely a believer in that. And by the way, I can see that you're out there, guys. I can see you're watching the show. If you're so moved, please make a comment, ask a question, contribute to the conversation if you like. I said I was going to read two here because the other one was interesting as well. Life will be to you what you are to it. Of necessity, there is a divine pattern at the center of everything. This is the Christ in you, waiting your recognition. Somehow you must link your will, your thought, your intellect, your imagination, and your feeling with the divine presence, which is already there. Between this perfection and completion, which already exists, and your intellect, environment, and everyday experience, there is the accumulated experience of your subconscious mind. Wow. And it's interesting that in, this, I don't know that I show this, but here's, there's a gazillion sticky notes in the side. That's from like the second time I read the book. There's the sticky notes from the first and third time I read the book. And I have a great big sticky note sticking out of this chapter 4. There's a big sticky note sticking up to mark that chapter. And I distinctly recall, I think I may just read the whole chapter again here in the very next few days. But I had highlighted chapter 4. This is a big chapter. It is, the universe is one vast system. All the laws of nature conspire to benefit mankind. But these same laws automatically protect the integrity of nature. It is as though nature said, all right, little man, the game is yours. Play it as you see it. Play it as you see fit. I am going to serve you, but don't fool yourself. I'm going to reflect right back to you with exactness what you really are. If you don't like what is happening, I'm not going to be disturbed. You are the arbiter of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. If you don't like what is happening, I am not going to be disturbed. You are the arbiter of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. That's just, life is to you what you are to it. It comes back to you as you are to it. Absolutely, you are. Your experience of life is a reflection of who you are, what you do, how you feel, and what you believe within. As a man thinketh, so is he. And it's not about what you think in the moment or in this instant or about the political season that we're going to talk about here in a moment. It's what is your overarching thought pattern? What do you truly believe in the world? And sometimes you're not necessarily aware of what it is we truly believe. I know. I've just been thinking here the last couple of days. There are some things that I truly desire in my life that are not part of my existence right now. And one of the reasons that those things are not manifesting in my existence is because of my lack of gratitude and acceptance of the abundance that I have. I'm more focused on on that which I lack than that which I have and the gratitude for what I have. That's a mistake. Because again, if you don't like what is happening, the overarching creative intelligence is not going to be disturbed because I am the arbiter of my experiences. I am the captain of my soul. I love that. You have to excuse me for a second here. I'm going to be, I have this thing going on here with the hay fever, and I'm just I'll be back in a minute. I see that you're out there watching the show. Please keep watching. I'll be right back. All right. Thank you. I appreciate your patience and waiting for me here. I was got to take care of that hay fever thing, man. I took an over-the-counter allergy pill just before the show, but I guess it was just a little too close to the show to not to avoid that sneeze. But anyway, so what I posted at the show was going to be about today was the mean season, the political season that we have coming up right now. And it's an interesting subject for me because as long as I've been doing, I did an internet radio show on the Co-Creator Network from 2009 to 2013. I did it on Voice America for the last 6 months that I did it. And back then, I was very conscious of talking about the political season, getting caught up in the political season. And it was kind of, it was around the birth of Facebook, and Facebook has just become a place where we just have learned to get nastier and nastier and nastier with each other. And it's taken me a long time, sometimes a little slow on the uptake, but here we are, 2024, another election year. And I am already finding myself involved in conversations that turn into nasty arguments, that get disrespectful and unkind, people pointing fingers, and guilty, man. I'm just as guilty as anybody. I'm no saint when it comes to that stuff. But what I came to the understanding of here, just in the last couple of days, some of it in the last 24 hours, Facebook has never been a place to debate. It's never been a place where people go to explore alternative points of view. It's a place where people go to have verified for themselves that what they believe is true, not to find out that there is something more true than what they believe. And so when we get into those conversations, what happens is they almost instantaneously dissolve or devolve into unpleasantness. Let's put it that way. And I had a conversation with a guy a few days ago, who definitely is on the other side of the fence from where I am as far as politics goes. And he made a comment about he was glad that he and I could have this conversation and be respectful and kind to one another. And that made an impression. But it's not necessarily an impression that lasted until today. Until today, when I realized I just can't do this, because what happens is this. Not only do I get into those. Have you ever been in an argument with somebody where when the argument's over, you walk away and you go, oh, I could have said this, or I should have said that, or I could have done it this way. Same thing happens with Facebook. And what happens with me is I get into these arguments with people who don't want to discuss anything. What I'm doing is, and in a great many instances, it's people who have crazy, way out there, and I'm going to say a way right-wing conspiratory viewpoints, QAnon crap, all kinds of crazy stuff. And they all I'm doing for them is giving them a platform for them to express their lunacy by continuing to have the conversation. I put up a post the other day, the picture of the president, and it says something to the effect of, there's no contest. He's the better human being. The better human being, and it's not even close. I believe that. And I'm not going to get into why or any of that. I'm just saying that's what I posted. And twice I had to take that post down. Over the course of 3 days, I took it down twice, because people jumped in with crazy scenarios of things that are wrong and things that have absolutely nothing to do with the presidency of the United States, situations around the world, even in our country, things like gas prices. People are mistaken to think that gas prices have anything to do with the president of the United States. But I will say, I just a little aside on this, okay? If we're talking about prices, we're talking about inflation. We're talking about we're paying 22 or 23% more than we were paying in like 2020 for our goods. Look at corporate profits. And I don't want to start a big political thing here. That's not the purpose of this. But don't blame the government. Under the guise of inflation, corporations have been steadily raising their prices for no reason. Even as their costs of goods have gotten static and even declined, they are still raising prices and calling it inflation. Anyway, regardless, get into these conversations and I wind up saying things that either I regret or I wish I had said them differently, or I wish I had never said them at all. And what happens is they haunt me. They're in my head. And I say things that were unkind. I say things, I try to be subtly insulting, if you will, and somebody gets this subtle insult and comes back at me with very loud and verbal insults. And that stuff haunts my psyche. So I have these negative thoughts going on in my brain around my political interactions on Facebook. Are you freaking kidding me? Again, it is not, and it never was intended to be. Well, I don't know what it was intended to be. It is not, it never has been, it never will be a place for the legitimate exchange of polar opposite ideas and discussion. It is only a place where people absolutely want to have confirmed for themselves what they already believe as the truth. I've held up the book before, Beyond the Dream, I think it's called, by Dr. Thomas Hora. It's called, one of the things that is my favorite expression in there is it's about self-confirmatory ideation. Everybody's ideas about everything are really designed around confirming who they are and what they believe and who they think they present themselves as in the universe, in the world. That's self-confirmatory ideation. That's all their ideas about all of that are solely self-confirmatory. It's an interesting concept, but and I particularly love it, and I need to be aware of it when I step into the realm of social media. It's not social media. I don't know what the hell a right name for it is, but it's a crazy time in history. This is going to be the ugliest, the meanest, the most contentious election year ever. And you know my politics. I believe it is simply the single most important election of my lifetime. And I think I heard one pundit say this afternoon that it very possibly could be the single most important election in the history of this country because of the possibility that we may lose our democracy if the other side wins. You figure out who the other side is. So how do we have peace of mind? How do we stay kind and respectful? And I think the answer is really simple. Make the decision. Make the decision to be kind and respectful. Mommy always said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. I've done that half a dozen times so far today, scrolling through Facebook. There was stuff there. I was like, oh man, I gotta fix that crazy freaking idea. And then when I go to comment, I see that there's half a dozen people have already jumped in to fix that crazy idea. Why am I bothering? I'm not gonna change anybody's mind. The old joke, excuse me. I got on Facebook today and I stated my case and somebody else came back with a better argument that made more sense and totally changed my mind about my view on politics and conspiracies and so forth and so on. Said absolutely nobody ever in the history of Facebook. You're not going to change anybody's mind. You're not going to change anybody's point of view. All you're going to do is venture spleen, as they used to say, and create animosity and unfriend people. I've lost in the 2020 election. No, in the 2016 election. Has it been that long? Wow. In the 2016 election, I lost one friend, a good friend, a really good friend, someone I played golf with. I lost him as a friend. I lost him as a friend because of, first it started on Facebook actually, where he would comment on my political posts. And I was like, wow, he actually believes this crap. And the next thing you know, I get to a point where I very judgmentally came to a point where I said, this person is not smart enough for me to even consider them as a friend. Now that's pretty freaking judgmental, but it's how I felt at the time. And there are points of view, people believe some things in this world right now that I just, if they believe this particular set of they're not facts, this particular set of ideas, opinions, if this is what they believe, that's not someone who's smart enough for me to have a conversation with. So why am I engaging with them on Facebook? Why would I bother? And if you take a moment and you go and you look at the person's profile you're about to lambast, and you look at their profile and you go, oh my God, there's nothing I'm ever going to say to this human being that's ever going to make any difference other than to just have me spew my stuff and give them an opportunity to fill my page with their crap. So again, that's the judgmental part. That's the nasty part. How do you remain kind and respectful? It's just about making a decision. Be kind and respectful. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's almost, Dr. Wayne Dyer used to say that when he was writing his books, he would go into his office and he would always meditate first before he started to write. It was a time in history when I was attempting to write a book. I wrote about 40,000 words and stopped, but I used to meditate every morning before I wrote. I almost feel like I need to meditate or do some affirmations or a short prayer before I even get on Facebook, so that I can maintain my integrity. If my sole intention is to get on Facebook and piss people off, well, have a nice day. That's easy. Pissing people off on Facebook is like the easiest thing to do on the whole planet. I don't know what could be easier than making people mad at you on Facebook. There's the meme on Facebook. Welcome to Facebook. Someone will be by to disagree with you in a moment. That's pretty much what it is. Whatever you post, somebody's going to disagree with it. We live in a world where the entire universe seems to be ready. Everybody is like lying in wait to be outraged about something. And if you make the right post on Facebook, they got you. They're outraged. And then you get outraged. And then you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And when, the minute you get defensive or angry on Facebook, all you're creating is defensiveness and anger to come back at you. And I repeat, guys, I always say this all the time. I can see you're out there. Please, if you got a question, a comment, you want to add something, just, if you have a comment about what I'm talking about, please put it out there. I'd love to hear it. Excuse me. Once again, the hay fever thing. I got to have a little drink of water here. The other thing that I thought about just this afternoon was, I think I said last week or the week before, this book is, can I get it in there without shining? There you go. The Science of Mind, what we call the textbook. This book is the most important book in my life. And I've read it two and a half times. And it's the closest thing I will ever have in my thought processes to an actual Bible for me. And on page 264, there's a whole section in here it's called physical perfection, but it's kind of interesting. It's all treatments for different kinds of things. And for those of you who aren't aware, a prayer treatment is just an affirmative prayer, as opposed to the Judeo-Christian tradition that we all grew up in, where we have supplicant prayer, where we're basically, I am not worthy prayer. This is claiming the good, basically. And this is the last prayer in this section, and it's called a treatment for peace of mind. And Ernest Holmes says, we cannot be at peace until we know that the spirit is the only cause, medium, and effect in our lives. There is no past, present, and future to it. Evil has no history and has never entered into the being or the experience of reality. The mind must come to know and to realize all these truths if it is to have real and lasting peace. A treatment such as this will be of great service in acquainting the mind with the truth of its being. So here's the treatment. This is the treatment for peace of mind. Be still and know that I am God. I am the Christ, the Son of the living God within me. I am the principle of peace within me. I am the manifestation of love within me. My mind is poised in peace and beauty. All sense of fear or doubt is gone. I rest in calm trust and rely on the law of spirit to bring good into my experience. I contend with none, argue with none, and am filled with wonderful peace and light. There is no uncertainty about my future and no fear as a result of my past. I live in an eternal now, which is filled with good alone. Goodness and beauty follow me. Peace and joy accompany me. Happiness and wholeness fill my entire being with the realization of love and perfection. I am the Christ, the Son of the living God within me. This inner mind of mine is now divine and complete. It has no worries and no fears. It is whole, complete, and satisfied. I look back over all previous experience and I find that it was good and very good. I look toward the future and find that it is good and very good. I look at the present and find that it is also good and very good. God is in all, over all, and through all. I am the Christ, the Son of the living God within me. I am the spirit of confidence. I am poised in love and reason. I am the perfect law of truth and the complete presence of beauty. I am Christ, the Son of the living God within me. That's Ernest Holmes' prayer for peace of mind. And I think that's if you find yourself being unkind, you find yourself being disrespectful of others in the social media space or in any space, it does interfere with your peace of mind, because all of us walk away from it with a sense of, geez, I wish I hadn't done that, or I could have done this, or I could have done that, as I said earlier. I read that that treatment for the peace of mind. I read that most mornings in my meditation and prayer work, in my daily spiritual practice, because I find that it really does make me feel calm and peaceful. And it makes me stop to realize I am the Christ, the Son of the living God that is within me. Of course, and just for clarification's sake, I mean, Christ comes from the Greek, which just simply means the anointed one. And in the sense of the science of mind, in the sense of Christianity, really, in the Bible, the Christ consciousness is that sense of being the anointed of the divine, which is each and every single individuation of that overarching creative intelligence, which is you and me. So, I appreciate those of you who watch. I can see you're out there. You didn't make any comments or questions, but anytime you feel like it, I'm here. And I don't. I stream this show on 6 different platforms, 4 Facebook pages, and a couple of different YouTube channels. And I can see the people who are watching here today. I can see several of you are on my Facebook page you're watching from, and I don't know if your comments on that page actually show up on my StreamYard feed here. We had trouble today streaming from the New Thought Media Network page. So I'm pretty sure that that's the one where you can always comment. But if you comment on my Facebook page around the show, because the show shows up there, if you comment there or ask a question, I'll be sure to stop by and acknowledge that and discuss whatever you want to discuss on that. But that's that's it for me. As always, I want you to remember that New Thought Media Network is a nonprofit organization. We live and breathe by your generosity. So if you would go to the New Thought Media website, ntmedia.org, click on donate. We are absolutely beyond grateful for everything that you bestow upon us. Always remember that if you want to reach me, you can reach me at teamrockitnow@gmail.com. Of course, it's important to remember that this show is brought to you by HempWorks. HempWorks is the world's #1 distributor, direct-to-consumer distributor of the greatest CBD and hemp-infused products in the world, the most extensive selection that you will find anywhere, best CBD-infused coffee on the planet. Great stuff. And if you could always, if you have any questions about the efficacy of CBD, why I use it, why I promote it, please find me at teamrocketnow@gmail.com or on my, you can go to my beloved Lisa and my Facebook page, our branded Facebook page right there on the crawl, Vibrant Aging, which goes hand in hand with this show, Vibrant Living. And we'll be glad to talk to you about those things and let you know why it's important to have the CBD activating your endocannabinoid system. I want to put the donate crawl back up there, and let's go back to my email address, and there you go. There you have it, folks. As always, I am immensely grateful for the great gift of your time and your attention. I wish you all the love and all the blessings the universe has to offer. I hope you will join me every Thursday, 2 o'clock Mountain Time, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And until next week, my friends, namaste.